Hello, hello. Episode 211. Warning, the show contains this show may contain adult language. We're going to try on this one, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. And warning, the show may be boring because of so. No, I think we're just going to carry on with our regular. This is episode 211. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. And as I said, this is episode 211. This is the future of the show. And we've been at it since 2019, and I'm quite not sure what to do about this. And I need your guys' help. And we're just going to go on about, well, let's just jump into it, blabbermouth. Is bad language really an issue? So I guess the use of the F word and things like that really, really bothers a lot of people, and I guess it may be very unprofessional, but it was never my intentions to offend anybody. I basically looked at this and wanted to create a safe environment, a fun environment, and probably more accurately, like a free environment. So where anybody could say anything they want, however they want. We don't talk about dumb shit like people, dang it, see? Like people killing each other and rape and all that, and like horrible, stupid things that mainstream movies where they use the F word and bad language and all this, they're promoting bad guys. Look how cool it is to be a gangster and all this kind of stuff, right? I look at, could we marry a fun area where, you know, most of the times, okay guys, when I go to a bars or when I was a kid, we talked very, very bad language. It wasn't really around my house a lot in my younger days, growing up very religiously. You know, I think it was after the fact that we just all kind of said, you know what, F it. I'm tired of all this. Like, I just want to be me, right? And I guess the family started using some bad language and stuff. I grew up working on roofs when I was 13 years old. I dropped out of school. in 7th grade. And I worked on roofs with a lot of Latino, I guess is the proper way to say it, not Mexicans. See, we probably just pissed off a bunch of people by using the M word. Roofers are some of the dirtiest pig scoundrels on the planet. These guys are alcoholics, druggies, and if they're not, they are just dirty people. It takes quite of a mutant of a human being to become a roofer. And so you got this little kid surrounded by drinking, smoking, swearing sailors, basically. And it was, it was going to happen regardless. And in 2 different languages. I already spoke Spanish from living in South America. And then I started working with the Latinos, and I learned a lot of bad, foul language. And it was every day that we would do this, you know. It was like, I guess what people would call man talk or something, you know. Every day if someone didn't call you a fag, you know. It was, for instance, I remember somebody asked me, he says, do you guys have to use such bad language? And I said, watch this. And I said, maricon! I yelled up at the roof. I was downstairs, right? Down on the ground. And when I said maricon, which means fag, all the guys stuck their head over the side like, what? What's up? And I had to tell the guy, I'm like, everybody responds. It's just the way we talk over here. And then he started laughing. He's like, that is funny, you know? So I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that's funny for me. But I think that beyond the bad language, if it's an issue and stuff and it's holding us back, is really the message. And I'm mostly into, I don't really care how somebody delivers it. It could be without swear words and stuff like that. So I'll give you guys, for instance, I'm an information guy, right? That's why I'm doing this show, because I research and I listen to podcasts and watch videos and everything that intrigues me. And some of the funnest videos and podcasts I listen to, like one of mine is Joe Rogan. When I want to, sometimes I really don't like that. You can't really tell what the show's about. But what I really like is when just Joe Rogan goes off on his tantrums. You know, he was talking to Randall Carlson and whatever his name is, the other guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but they were talking about something about asteroids hitting the planet, and Joe Rogan's all, there was something that had its own effing moon. And he was just jumping out of his seat. He's like, it had something orbiting it, and it passed by effing Earth, and he was just yelling and screaming and I was laughing my rear end off. And I don't know, this was before I started podcasting. And the other one is Bill Burr, Bill Burr podcast. When I want to laugh, like really laugh more than learn anything, Bill Burr sometimes just gets me rolling. And he is constantly, that's one of their things at the end of the show. People ask him advice and he's like, yeah, well, this is my advice. And then at the end of it, his saying is, well, and don't forget, go F yourself. That's the way that's the way we talk around here. I think it's funny, it's meaningless. But I guess some people say it's childish. Some say it's just, you don't have to use it, but to me, I don't know why or how. It's not like I'm trying to do this kind of thing. It just comes out that way, where it sounds so much better when I'm like, hey man, you know what? I really love you, bro. I really do. But when I'm like, dude, I effing love your ass. Is ass a good? I've never looked into that. I guess it is, 'cause it could be a donkey, right? But when I'm like, dude, I effing love your ass. I would effing die for you, you know what I mean? You get all passionate about it. For some reason, that's the language. I don't know why I'm trying to explain all this stuff to you guys, but I really do think that it's affecting the show. After 3 years, we're not really getting much momentum, and yeah, I think it's more what I'm thinking, and again, I need you guys' help, is that maybe we should move this, because obviously this would be a hobby. Right, I've been seeking information from people around me, and a lot of them say, hey, when you run your roofing business, which I do, my construction business, we don't swear around the client. Unless the client really starts swearing, dropping bombs in front of me, then I'm like, all right, man, we could just be ourselves and hang out, And then I get them laughing because I throw some comedy in there, which makes, the comedy and the comfortableness makes things a lot more pleasant. I feel more comfortable. But yeah, I think that I have to accept that this is just a hobby show. And this show takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and it costs money to do. It takes a lot out of my time. And but I really love doing it. And the reason I think that, I started doing it, number one was, well, let's just see what this is all about. And it felt really good. I was like, wow, I could really get into this type of thing. I've got so much to say. At first I was like, I don't have much to say. And for anybody who does start a podcast, you would think that you have not much to say, but once you start going, you start building stuff out, especially me, it's all solo shows. I don't really have any guests really that often. You start digging in your head and it's like, wow, there's a lot of different things in there. And you start getting excited and taking notes. And that's what I do, is I sit down and every spare chance I get when I'm working, I get on my phone and on my notes and I write down, well, what do I want to do? And I wanted to say too, that I basically sat down and did a lot of thinking and a lot of work of what kind of show would I want to hear? So for instance, as I said, I love that Bill Burr makes me laugh. I love how it spurs off into just, ridiculousness. He tries to make a big joke about everything. Joe Rogan as well. Not so much as like Bill Burr's. But what I like about Joe Rogan's podcast is that there's many times, if I'm interested in subject matter, there's some serious good information. And that's what I look at, what I was saying earlier, is the message. When something's very important to me, I really don't care how. I want to know all about this message, and it's something I never heard about, or a perspective. I'm enthralled. And so I sat down and I said, well, I'd really like to make something like that. It has a real good freedom feel. It's a fun place. If somebody can make me laugh, entertain me, educate me, and inspire me, I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. Because the drab shows where someone's just talking you can tell they're trying not to use bad language, or they try to get a little uppity, I don't know, pretend like they're gonna say something like that bloody thing, they get all angry and they just can't say it. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to be comfortable. So that's what I did, is I wanted to build content informational, not stupid. Like I listen to a lot of shows, or I have, where it's just stupid, using profuse language and stuff like that, and the content's really, it's got nothing in it. It's just a bunch of F-bombs and stuff, and I'm like, that doesn't really work. You gotta have some essence to it, and maybe I don't have the essence to the show, I don't know. But regardless, I really don't give a crap. I love doing it, but I'm thinking about turning this from a hobby and into a business show, a business setting. And that would mean no more swearing. I don't know if we're allowed to use ass or to say the shit out of me, or I hate the shit out of that stuff, or things like that. It would definitely really help me, because I have no idea what I'm doing. As I said, I'm a dropout, guys. I stopped school when I was in 7th grade, right? So I need help. I need to know how to not, what words are nice, what words aren't, or maybe just replace all of them. Don't just go to the goody two-shoes shows. And if I do, I was thinking of keeping my hobby show here, the Up and In It, because it's so much fun. But I'd probably limit it to maybe one show a week, maybe do an hour or something on certain subject matters. My idea was maybe take off from the goody two-shoe shows, take information from there, and and maybe expand on a 1 hour show or something like that. But I really need to do something, because I have a special needs daughter. I'm not making this stuff up. I need to get more residual incomes coming in, and I think that if I want to monetize a show, a podcast like this, that maybe I should consider just getting much more professional, drab in my opinion. I think I can still make it exciting. It'd just be really a lot of work, probably editing. Cause see, it's so bad, guys. What I thought about is just be myself, make jokes, and then bleep out all the swear words. But that would take a lot of time, like a lot more time than this show takes. But maybe it would work. I was thinking about calling it the Resilient Living Podcast, something like that. Because that's the premise of everything I'm about, is how do we repair the earth? How do we help people? How do we make this so it's not such a struggle for everybody? And I think the biggest one is all the experiences I've had where I've gone against the system. You see, I think I've always been some sort of like anarchist to some extent, where I'm like, no, I do not like what's going on, and I'm going to change it. I do not take no for an answer, and I've had success. And even now in 2021 here in mid-April, getting towards the end of April, I've been minimally affected by all the stuff going on. And I really feel like we're in a great, we're gonna hit a recession, and we have this great reset and all this kind of stuff happening. And I just really wanted to lighten the load and not, and make it fun for people. So again, I apologize for all the bad language, I guess. I'm gonna continue. If you don't like the show, I just suggest probably don't listen to it and go somewhere else. Or if you're like into what I'm saying and the message on how to heal the planet and yourself and health and money and just a better way of life, then I'll keep you guys informed. I'm not quitting right now, but I'm thinking about it. I'd really like your guys' help too. What do you guys think of Resilient Living Podcast? I wanted to be a little rebel-y and call it maybe the Resilient Rebels Podcast, but I don't know if it explains what I'm talking about enough, right? Because the whole thing was rebels against the system to be resilient, not in any mean way or something. But I could see words are very important to people, I guess. So maybe rebels, they'd be like, oh yeah, these are rebels, pirates, Well, the authenticity has definitely been there for me. Like, that's number one. I can't do something if I don't believe in it. I'm a horrible liar. The ex-wife I had, the Xbox I call her, I think it's funnier than shit. She knows, by the way, too, that I call her the Xbox, and she thought it was hilarious. Like I said, that's just the way we all grew up. My authenticity, though, is there. Like I said, I'm a horrible liar. She was able to, like, if something had to happen, I'm like, I can't do that. You're going to have to do it. I don't believe in lying. Like, we can't. And she'd be like, all right, just leave it alone. I'll do it. I'm like, I can't even be there. I'd be in the back like, oh, God, what's going on? So I can't really do something I don't believe in. But I'm going to give it a shot. No swearing, maybe. Thinking about it. Let me know what you think of those. Do we even need each other? Is what I look at. I'm like, no, not really. You don't need me. I don't really need you. If I was doing a show for money, I would say I do need you. I need sponsors. I need, members to pay a member's fee and stuff like that. But other than that, I really could stop talking about how life could be so great and just keep living my life, right? Back in 2016, 17, I think even 18, I was jogging on the beach every morning. Now I've narrowed it down more towards creating new businesses and this podcast and stuff like that. So I've taken a lot of time out of those things. I could really just go back to what I was doing and just continue with my construction business, continue with my gardening business, and just disappear, really. I could really just disappear and just kind of live, which sometimes sounds good. But again, like I said, I really like doing the show. I don't really get out much. I'm a single dad, and I have my kids 7 days a week, 7 nights a week, and weekends. I don't get to go out on weekends, so that's why I do this show it's a good outlet. It's like somebody to actually talk to. And again, a lot of the stuff out there to me is it's crap. And I really wanted to build this show the way I want to hear it. So I'm rambling off, I guess. What you could do, as I said, is let me know what you guys would want to hear. If the bad language is really what's stopping this show from progressing forward, let me know if that bothers you. And I guess we'll either quit the show or we'll just keep it up as a hobby. But here's the warning. If I decide to keep doing this show, which we're going to do more episodes here, it's probably going to get worse. I mean, the more ridiculous, the better. Like straight up like comedy style, right? Like a stand-up comedian, like Joe Rogan's comedy, Bill Burr's comedy. I identify with those a lot. There's a few other people too, but the crass, the stuff. Life is so bad, right? Life could be so bad. There's horrible subject matters, and I think that if you make a joke about it sometimes, but you make a point though, like really we're going to do this. This is really what's happening, and you make fun of it. It kind of makes life go by a little bit easier, even though some of these things are really big topics, big topics. But to me, that's the type of person I am. I know there's a divide amongst us where people like to take things serious and kosher. So that's the show. A bunch of blah blah blah, I guess. God damn, I think this is the first filler show I've ever done. I don't think I've ever done a filler show. Which, by the way, too, I'll say, if I'm not inspired and I don't feel authentic about what I'm saying, I may skip a show. We're doing 5 days a week right now. And if I don't feel it, I'd rather just not do a show. I don't want to do a filler, something boring, because I probably bored the shit out of you guys today. I have no idea. But guys, help me out here. Let me know what's going on. I've been giving to you for about 3 years now, and just asking back in return, if I've given enough, if you guys think I have and brought you some value, please help me what I need to do to make this show better for you. If it's the swear words, let me know. So it's upandinitshow@gmail.com. Email me, let me know. And I guess that's it, man. Review it, like it. I guess I'm tired of saying that because we're not really getting any reviews, likes, or anything, or comments. Guys, if you like it, it's Up and In It. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, when I get the chances, YouTube, what did I say? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and anywhere where the podcasts are at. And as I always say, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the effing fire. Human the F up. Live it, love it, own it. And bone it any way you want, my friends.